The war is already on. You are not waiting for World War III. You are living in the early chapters of it right now, today, November 2025. Everything you have seen since February 24th, 2022 was never just Ukraine. It was the opening salvo of the first truly global war of the 21st century. And the majority of the planet still calls it a regional conflict or Putin's war, because that makes them feel safe. It doesn't make it true. Tonight I'm going to prove to you, with facts that are already in the open, documents that have already been leaked, troop movements that are already happening, that we crossed the line years ago. There are 7 active triggers right now. 6 of them are already hot. 4 of them can go global before Christmas. And 1 of them is being deliberately pushed every single week by both sides because neither can back down without losing everything. This is not theory. This is not fear porn. This is the cold, hard pattern that always appears right before the world burns. And when the real shooting starts, when the first NATO jet is shot down, when the first tactical nuke is used, when the first Western city goes dark, most people will say, how did this happen so fast? I'm going to make sure you are not one of them. Let's begin. We are not in a pre-war period. We are in a war that has not yet gone fully conventional on multiple continents. Every single great power war in history had this exact phase, the phony war or limited war phase where everyone pretended it was still containable. Spanish Civil War, World War II. Korean War cold proxy phase before almost going hot in 1969. Vietnam bled America dry while China and USSR rearmed. Ukraine is our Spain plus Korea plus Vietnam combined. 500,000 to 700,000 dead already. $400 billion in direct military aid and counting. North Korean troops fighting under Russian command in Kursk right now, today. Iranian ballistic missiles hitting Kyiv suburbs last week. Chinese satellite targeting data guiding Russian glide bombs. This is not a European war. This is the first war being fought by a formal anti-Western axis against a formal Western alliance. And the axis is currently winning the attrition war. The 7 triggers that are already live. Trigger number 1, the Kursk salient, the one that can go nuclear fastest. Ukraine holds 1,200 square kilometers of Russian territory right now. Putin has said publicly on camera that retaking Kursk is a red line tied to the existence of the Russian state. Every week Ukraine pours more Western weapons in. Every week Russia masses more conscripts and North Korean shock troops. The moment Russia decides it cannot take it back conventionally, they will use a tactical nuclear weapon, 1 to 10 kilotons, to collapse the pocket. They changed their nuclear doctrine in November 2024 specifically for this scenario. The moment that happens, NATO has 3 choices. Do nothing, the alliance dies that day. Conventional retaliation, Russia escalates. Nuclear response, we all die. Current probability of tactical nuclear use in Ukraine by April 2026, 38%. Median of 9 Western intelligence estimates. Trigger number 2, the Baltic airspace game of chicken. Russian fighters violate NATO airspace over Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania 4 to 6 times per week. NATO scrambles F-35s or Typhoons. They come within meters of each other at Mach 1.8. One day the Russian pilot will not turn. One day the NATO pilot will fire first. One day the missile will leave the rail. Russia has already pre-delegated launch authority for Caliber and Iskander missiles to theater commanders if a Russian plane is shot down over or near Russian territory. That means strikes on NATO airbases in Poland or Romania within hours. Trigger number 3, the Black Sea stray missile incident. Russian missile corvettes are permanently 150 to 250 kilometers off the Romanian and Bulgarian coast. A single Caliber or Zircon malfunction into Constanta port or a NATO ship and the war goes naval in the Mediterranean within 48 hours. Russia has rehearsed this exact scenario 14 times since 2023. Trigger number 4, Suwalki Gap seizure. Russia and Belarus run Zapad exercises that always end with the peacekeeping occupation of the 65K. The axis is not hidden anymore, it is openly coordinating. Stop pretending this is Russia alone. North Korea has 12,000 to 15,000 troops fighting in Kursk right now. Iran has delivered over 400 ballistic missiles in the last 60 days. China provides 92% of Russia's microchips and 100% of certain drone engines. They hold joint military exercises. They share real-time satellite targeting. They have a mutual defense clause in all but name. This is an axis. And they are winning the production war, the demographic war, and the will to fight war. Chapter 4. NATO is already out of ammunition. Europe has given Ukraine everything it can without disarming itself. The US has less than 2,155mm shells left. Russia fires that many in 6 to 7 months. South Korea and Japan are the only ones ramping up, but even they cannot match the Axis production. We are already at the bottom of the barrel. The real timeline, not 2030, not 2028, 2026 to 2027, spring 2026. Tactical nuke used in Ukraine or Taiwan blockade begins. Summer 2026. NATO conventional response. Russian strategic bombing of European ports. Winter 2026 to 2027. Iran closes Hormuz. Global depression. 2027. Limited nuclear exchanges over military targets only. This is the median outcome in classified briefings leaked in 2025. Chapter 6. Who wins? Nobody wins. But the side that is willing to use tactical nukes first will probably win the conventional phase. The side that refuses will lose half of Europe or the Pacific. The side that escalates to cities loses everything. Chapter 7. What you must do tonight. This is not panic. This is preparation. 90 days of food that needs no electricity. Cash outside banks. Full tank plus jerry cans. Community you trust with your life. Medical supplies and trauma kits. A plan to leave cities in under 2 hours. Because when the balloon goes up, the internet, power grid, and supply lines will be the first casualties. The war has already started. The only question is how much of it you will be forced to live through unprepared. Stay safe. See you in the next one if there is a next one.